Got the Superman curl over here. The Way of Kings has often been touted as the beginning of Brandon Sanderson's best series, but is it actually better than his Misborn series? Today, I'll be reviewing The Way of Kings in preparation for Wind and Truth to come out in December. Along the way, I'll be comparing it to Misborn, but more specifically, The Final Empire. Because, I like to hit two birds with one stone. I'll be analyzing three aspects, comparing the two books in character, world building, and plot, along with something a little bit else in the end. Like and swear the oath to press that subscribe button as well as that bell button so as to notify you when I'll be reviewing the next in the series, Words of Radiance. Without further ado, it is time to jump into its worst aspect. Plot. 7 out of 10. Despite it being the worst, it has a very solid score. Concerning plot, but more specifically pacing, I'm not the only one who had problems with it. The most common criticism of The Way of Kings is just how long it is. This behemoth is over 1,000 pages, the max Tor could print at that time. Kaladin, the main character, was the one who carried the plot through like Bridge 4. Shallan and Dalinar's plots are all interesting, Shallan's being the slowest despite having the best plot twist, but with Kaladin, I was hooked. Hook, line and sinker throughout the novel. Moving past the pacing issues, Act 1 started off amazingly. The prologue checked all the boxes for a good introduction. By the end of the act though, it slowed considerably, and for quite a long time, never really picking up until the Sander launch happened. But boy, when the Sander launch descended, few things have ever been so satisfying. Comparing this to Misborn, The Final Empire, they are very similar. Their scores are the same, their flaws practically the same, but now it is time to move on to the analysis of characters. 8 out of 10. This is where The Way of Kings eclipsed The Final Empire. Kaladin and Calcia, yes, quite the same in name and personality. They were both the highlights, but the difference was Kaladin lasted until the end. Calcia, Shallan and Vin, similarly, were vastly overshadowed. Dalinar, somehow, was able to evade the curse, managing to escape out from underneath Kaladin, but still did not shine as bright. Kaladin. Oh, Kaladin. This is my favorite kind of protagonist. Brando Sander pulled off what Orson Scott Card pulled off with Ender. Check it out. And that is making an incredibly competent protagonist, but still challenging them more than anything else. These two characters prove that you do not need a weak protagonist to create any credible threat, or to make them an underdog. Now, remember the crew. When I say that, you could think of two crews. Kaladin's Bridge 4 and Calcia's Thieving crew. Both are exemplars of what supporting characters should be, and they shone in their roles. Now though, it is time to get into the best aspect of them all. World building, 9 out of 10. What, you may ask, is so amazing about the world building that it got an almost perfect score? Well, check out this video in which I break down what the scores actually mean. The thing that drove the world building out of the plateau was surge binding. I'm sorry Misborn fans, but I think surge binding has Allomancy beat. While the three magic systems of Scadrial are awesome, they don't really connect that well to the themes of the story. Surge binding, though, was tailor-crafted to incorporate its oaths into the theme of the story. Come on, it's perfect. The way it weaves together the character arcs with the world-building plot twists. It literally weaves in everything. It is an amazing tool to force the characters to confront their lies, their flaws, their inadequacies. This then sets up the perfect Sander launch. While Allomancy does have a more intricate system, surge binding beats it with its themes. In the end, every part of the story should push, deepen, contrast, as well as explore the thematic question or questions. Overall, 8 out of 10. 1 point more than The Final Empire, but it is interesting to note that the Hero of Ages did equal it. Interestingly enough, 8 is the same score I gave to The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, as well as The Two Towers, which should give you an appreciation of how legendary this book is. In the end, I do believe that it surpasses Misborn, but that doesn't mean you should think that as well. So if you have not already, go read them. For all those who stay to the end, welcome to being among the 30% with good attention spans. For this, I award you age rating 13+. Ah yes, the thing all you 30-year-olds are wanting. But just in case you are a parent, this is for you. The atmosphere of this book is for all ages, with slightly more black and white characters that does not at all detract from the story, I think. What drove it up to teens and above was the book does take place in the midst of an army where prostitution is rampant, so there are quite a few sexual references. Most, though, will fly over the heads of these kids. You can never underestimate their lack of perception. Just remember, this is an estimate. It all depends on the maturity level, which is why I always round up, just to be safe. Don't forget to swear the magical oaths. Like before death, subscribe before weakness, comment before destination. But anyway, Sando nerds, Veronwë out.